by you guys going inside, you would be saying that
you're guilty of interrupting a worship service.
No, I'm not saying that.
No, but you're saying that the public health orders override Criminal Code 176.
But that's why we can't let you in then, because the Code 176 makes it illegal for you to interrupt a worship service. And our worship service has begun, and we're stating that to you very clearly, that your presence in this building will be interrupting our worship service.
How so?
Because your presence intimidates our people.
That's your perception. We have that authority.
So are you saying...
So it'll be obstruction if it does come down to that.
Yeah, no, we understand,
Okay,
but we're saying the
so-
worship service has started, and your presence is an interruption of that worship service.
So we're not going to go into the pulpit?
Yeah.
We're going to go to the
No,
belt.
even, like I said, you guys have, it is a great intimidation to women and children,
Yeah,
which
well,
isn't,
that's not what we're here for.
which is a disruption.
No,
And again, that's your perception.
So are you telling us that the public health orders override Criminal Code 176?
I'm not here to debate that.
Okay.
I'm here to do a job under the
But
Alberta
you
Health.
entering the building would
Okay,
determine that is
So
overridden?
now, see, we're getting into a debate.
No, I'm asking a
And,
question. I'm trying
not,
to get
I'm
an
not,
answer.
Again, I'm not here to debate those things. Those are things that
Okay.
can be debated in court.
Okay. So-
and I'll let the lawyers and the judges make that call.
So I
Okay?
guess, though, by
So-
you guys going inside, you would be saying that...
you're guilty of interrupting a worship service.
No, I'm not saying that.
No, but you're saying that the public health orders override Criminal
I'm not
Code
saying that either.
176?
But that's why we can't let you in then, because the Code 176 makes it illegal for you to interrupt a worship service. And our worship service has begun, and we're stating that to you very clearly, that your presence in this building will be interrupting our worship service.
How so?
Because your presence intimidates our people.
That's your perception.
Well, no.
No, no, and again, it's
So-
not about perception. Our people understand that you guys, and again, we respect the work that you do in the community. We respect you as police officers, but in our worship service right now, people are praying, people are singing, people are listening to the Word of God be preached, and they can't do that with your presence in the building.
And with all due respect, the law has now put our pastor in prison. And so for the RCMP to come into the service, it is absolutely a disruption. We have seen the arm of law enforcement come against us. So to come in our building is absolutely intimidation at this point.
That's why we can't let you in.
Once again, I'm sorry you feel that way, but you have to understand that we also have a job to do. Right?
Yeah.
We do.
Okay.
We
so
do.
under that authority, that's why we're here.
Okay.
We're not here to go up and down the aisles. We're not here to
But
interrupt the
you
service.
actually will be.
No, we
when
won't.
when you go inside, you will see that you will be.
Our people are sitting right there. Like,
Okay. Again,
and our
we're-
service has now, we are officially started.
right now we have. 'Cause
Yeah.
We've wasted time here.
It
We
would
started
have been-
before that, but now he's in the pulpit.
We were already praying and singing.
Yeah.
before that. He's in the pulpit.
I haven't been in, so I don't know what it's like. But
Yeah.
like I said, it's not that we're here to interrupt anything. And
But you will
don't.
be. And it's not an interpretation. You will be. It's a fact. You will be interrupting.
Again.
We are standing firm on the Criminal Code 176 that protects these rights.
Yep.
What you do, I mean,
Again,
if you guys are going to stand up over top
interruption,
of that, then
interruption is going to be defined in the courts. That can be argued in the courts. Okay. It can go a number of different ways. Again, we're not here for that purpose. There's no intent for that. So even if you feel that way, I'm sorry you feel that way. Again, that is not our intent. Okay. And if there's no intent, then
well, I don't think intent
okay,
is what
intent is what it comes down to.
No,
it does
it-
come down to that. Yes.
Well, no, because the moment you walk in the door, you're interrupting our worship service, and that's very clear in the criminal code.
Yeah. What's also clear is intent. So there has to be a reason for somebody to do something. It's called mens rea. Okay, so if someone wants to cause property damage, they have to want to cause property damage for a reason.
Yeah.
If they do it by accident,
So can I ask what
Then
your
it's not.
intent? What is your intent then?
like the inspector had stated, I'll let him say
Okay.
why he's here. I don't want to speak for him.
Okay.
We're only here on his behalf.
Yeah. Okay.
We're
And
not
we
here
recognize that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
So what is the intent?
I'm here today just to observe the service
Okay.
and just to observe the compliance with the orders.
What's your name, sir?
My name is Dragan.
Dragon?
Okay.
My name's Rob.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Scott.
Yeah.
So
And
there is
again,
no other intent.
yeah. No, but again, with that intent, it will interrupt our worship service.
We don't have intent to interrupt your service. Like we will.
I think there's nothing inside that you're going to see that you can't see clearly from out here with the amount of cars in the parking lot. So again, I would ask, why do you need to be in the building versus what you've seen with the amount of people that have come into our building from outside?
I would need to observe your compliance with 50% capacity.
I think you can count, just by counting the cars, you can tell we're not compliant, and so that's why I'm saying you can't come in.
Compliance with masking and physical distancing.
And again, I would say with witnessing people that are, that have stood outside and people over there you can witness without coming into the building, that same thing.
I would rather observe from inside rather than just assume what's going on inside.
Well, no, you're not assuming, because you can see there's people not social distancing
And you
and
can see
masking,
the cars.
and you can count the cars in the
There's
parking
no
lot.
assumptions.
There's no assumptions there. And with your own testimony and they're witnessing that, you don't need to come inside the building.
Another thing is, under the Public Health Act, we have the right to enter at any reasonable time, any place of business.
Under the Health Act you do, but not under the Criminal Code
Under the
176.
Public Health Act.
Yeah, which doesn't override.
So, like I said,
Criminal Code
just to be
176.
clear, we are standing on Criminal Code 176.
You're standing on the Health Act.
You're standing on the Health Act. So now we're at an impasse.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, again, there has to be intent for what you're relying on 176.
But I think we've
okay?
given you a reasonable option where you don't have to interrupt the service. You can still observe by being out here and counting the cars. So we've been reasonable. And so I think based on that,
See, we have a duty to report accurate information.
we can
to
give
the
you what our
courts.
factual head count is inside the building. It's 614 people because we counted. And that's what our occupancy is.
But you would have to be at 15% capacity.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, inside the building right now is 614 people.
650.
Yeah, so that way you don't have to come in. And you can count, the cars if you'd like in the parking lot.
The cars are not relevant because one person per car, 10 people per car. You understand that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we get that, but I mean, if the assumption is one per car, you can't.
We can't assume. See, the courts don't work on assumptions; they work on
No, I know,
facts.
but one
So-
person has to be driving a vehicle per car, and there's more than 94 cars here.
There is.
Correct. I get that.
So that's why I'm trying to be reasonable about those.
Huh? Oh yeah. So
that's-
ultimately, though, it comes down to this, right? He has a job to do. We have a job
I
to do.
know.
We are bound by the courts to
Yep.
report accurate information. So I can't sit there and go, well, there's 300 cars out here, so there must be 300 people, or because that is just a guess. It's not accurate.
So is it
So it's
the
no-
health that has to observe or the RCMP?
It's the health that has to observe. I'm here for his protection.
Okay, so then we don't worry about you counting. It's your observations that matter, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and so I think based on what I've said, being reasonable, you can observe everything you need to outside the building, and that way you don't interrupt our service, and you still get your observations. And I think that's still factual because, like I said, if there's more than 93 vehicles in this parking lot, the vehicles don't drive themselves, so therefore it's reasonable to assume that there's 93 people minimum.
Again, we can't assume. It has to be direct
Okay, so then
observation.
so then it's a fact that there's minimum 93 people here because there's 93 vehicles.
Again, they could all be somewhere else. We have to show the courts unequivocally that this is exactly what this investigator has observed based on his personal observations, and that's it.
Have you submitted
So it's
any
no-
other affidavits in the court that talked about parking lot counts? Because I think some of Janine's earlier observations had parking lot counts in them, did she not?
That may be,
That may be
but again, it doesn't come down to actual occupancy within
Yeah.
the facility. And it doesn't matter if it's here or another place.
Yeah.
It makes no difference. I mean, there could be 1,000 cars here, but they could all be bused and shuttled somewhere else.
Yeah.
So that would be a very bad assumption to make.
No, again, I'm just trying to
So,
be reasonable.
based on that,
and I think based on what you've seen and what you're seeing here,
Yeah, but like
He has to go
I
inside.
hope you understand that I need to see that like myself. I can't really.
So another reasonable way to do this is for you to wait till the end of the service, and then you can watch the people coming out of the doors, because then you can tell that they haven't just materialized in the building. They obviously have come from these vehicles into the building, and you can watch them coming out of the building.
Okay,
And that's your own eyewitness account.
that will be for the numbers, but I still need to observe the masking.
Well, you will see them not masking because they're going to be coming out,
And
most likely without masks.
Physical distancing inside.
Yeah, what you can see them not physical distancing as they come out of the building.
Yeah.
So everything you need to witness, you just stated, masking, physical distancing, and count, you can do from outside the building.
You will
We'll even move a vehicle if you want to sit and watch. and give you a spot where you can walk.
Yeah, again, that's not practical. It's
Well,
what's
that's
happening.
very practical.
No,
That's
because
you not going in the building and interrupting our
Right.
worship service, which isn't practical, and
And
is
again-
again
Right.
against 176.
It is
We
against
can-
the law.
Yeah, we can sit you at a table. We can let you sit there and watch and
We'll
count.
bring you a coffee.
Yeah.
Not only that, I don't think there's room with the fire capacity for you guys.
So that's
Well,
very true.
well, yeah, we're not there to occupy the building. We're here to inspect and leave. That's it.
So, anyway,
So-
I think that's a very reasonable option that I would
That's all there
extend
is
you.
to
That
that,
way,
right?
you're meeting what you need to do. You're not interrupting our worship service, which allows us to do what we need to do. And I would extend that to you as an offer to please consider that and to use that. Because that's being reasonable.
You should consider that I will not be interrupting your service.
You will be.
You will be.
You will be.
Once again, there's no intent for
You
that.
will be walking
I
through
understand.
aisles.
Yeah.
You will be.
The moment you walk in the door,
Where-
people will be looking at you.
So,
You're not going to count over occupancy if you just stand in the front door. So you're either going to not get everything you need, or you're going to be walking down aisles and interrupting
Yeah,
people.
well, there's no intent to walk down aisles. I'll tell you that.
But you will
But
when you come in the
if you
building.
want to gather what he's saying he needs, you will have to.
Because you have to go up to our balcony, which takes you by aisles and takes you by people.
So, Scott, so at the end of the day, the Public Health Act says we have access to go in the building.
Okay.
If you don't want us to go in the building, that's fine, but you're accepting the fact you're denying us access to the building. Okay? So if you deny access to the building, there's potential for criminal charges or potential for additional charges.
Yeah.
So that being said, we're going to respect the fact that you guys don't want us to go to the church. We're not going to go into the church.
Okay.
We're going to stay outside and we'll observe the numbers as they come.
Okay, thank you.
Okay? So then there's no further interaction.
Yeah.
Disruption.
Thank
Are
you.
you satisfied with that?
Very much so, yeah. If you can observe from outside, that
Yep.
would be.
And sorry, can you say that one more time? So just so I'm clear, we're subject
So
to
denying us
additional-
access under the Public Health Act,
Yeah.
there's potential charges that could come, additional
Yeah.
charges that could come to that under potential under the Public Health Act and the Public Health Orders or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
That'll be for them to sort out because that's an AHS
Yeah,
sort of thing.
yeah,
That's not an
understood.
RCMP
Yeah.
thing.
Got it.
Okay, so we're here in support of him.
Yeah.
If you don't want us to go in there because you're basing it on disrupting a church service, sorry.
No, that's okay. No, we
You're
get
like,
it.
you see how tight this is?
Yeah.
So that's fine.
Yeah.
I want to respect boundaries.
Yeah.
Right. So and I don't want to get into a debate.
Yeah, exactly.
So-
And you know, we've
Yeah.
been working.
We've dealt with you guys.
Yeah.
Yep, that's right. We've
We're-
been more than amicable. We've been more than
You guys have been
professional. I want to
awesome
keep
to
it at that
do
way.
it. Yeah.
It's always been typically
Yeah.
consistently me that
Yeah.
comes here. It's already started. We'll respect that.
Okay.
So we'll do an observation from outside of the property,
Thank you.
and we won't go into the church.
Yes.
If the guys come back next Sunday, we'll make sure that if that's the case, that they come in prior to service starting. Then there's no
Okay.
disruption. But they're going to seek clarification on the criminal code because when you look at the criminal code, there's actually case study, case law. It's not just this is a chargeable offense. Any person that does this will. There's
Yeah.
always there's a whole bunch of synapses and there's a whole bunch of other things that have definitions on reasons of why.
Yeah.
We just have to be very clear that we're not infringing on something,
Yeah.
and you're not just taking that text as
Yeah. Yeah,
potential
no, I get
verbatim,
it.
right?
Yeah.
Like there are rules that
Yeah.
can go in at exceptions or caveats. We'll make sure that that's explored fully,
Yes.
so we don't put ourselves in a debating position.
Yeah.
Okay?
I guess I would
It's
also.
not like running a stop sign. You either stopped or
Yeah.
you didn't, right?
Yeah.
I guess I would also make clear, just for your information for next week, if we end up
Yep.
in this situation again.
We'll be in this standpoint again.
I was here at 7 o'clock this morning. We opened the doors at 7.
Okay.
Worship starts at 7 here.
Right.
Like
We
it's
were
hard,
in
that's
prayer.
the issue we have is that there's prayer, there's singing, there's the moment people show up, the service has started because that
I know the
includes-
dynamic has changed a little bit.
It has.
So
Yeah.
I know. I understand
It has.
because it went from
We have-
it went from applause to now we're being told we're not welcome.
So,
So I understand where the dynamic has changed because of the situation.
Yes.
I respect that.
And I want to be very clear too. Like when we say not welcome, it's the
it's-
interruption of AHS interrupting our service. That's not
Yeah,
welcome.
I understand that.
That's- I wanna be clear
understand
on that,
I
yeah.
do. That's not how I meant to
Yeah.
interpret it. I understand what you're
I
saying.
know. Yeah.
This is not a personal thing. It's a
So our biggest thing is that, our church, a worship gathering consists of singing, prayer, preaching of the word, hearing about Jesus Christ and the death and his death for sins, for those that need to be saved. Yeah, and fellowship, sacraments and those things. Those are all part of our worship service. And the moment people enter this building, that service is started. And so
But
that's why it's
what we need to try to decipher is where is the clear line in the sand on what is and what isn't
Yeah.
an interruption. Right?
Yeah.
And that's what we're going to do some research because
Yeah.
I don't want to come here and give you misinformation or come
I
here
know. Yeah.
or come here and debate because that's
Yeah.
not what we're trying
No,
to
and
do.
we don't
Right?
wanna
We're trying
debate
I'd
either.
like to fully understand that intention.
yeah.
Yeah, because there are
that's
intents.
very subjective.
There are. It is, and that's
very
but that's where the courts come into play.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Right. The courts determine what is
Yeah.
and what isn't.
Yeah.
So we just act in good faith on what our instructions are and what the
Yeah, and I
the authorities
yeah,
all
and if you guys can observe from outside, that's for us the most probably
the best practice, and that to us seems the most reasonable, because then, like I said, you can eyewitness people coming in, and everything that you were going to witness in there, you can witness from outside. And I think moving forward, that's what I would extend is the best practice for both of us to.
So I just spoke to our sergeant major, so that's who I will take this information.
Okay, perfect.
And I'll let them, AHS, come up with a plan to better
Yes.
to let us know.
Okay, perfect. Okay.
That works out?
Yeah.
You guys are satisfied with that?
Yeah, definitely.
Because I don't want to cut.
No,
We're just.
Yeah, thanks.
And you know we're not trying to.
No, I know we've had many of
I know.
many of offline
Yeah.
personal conversations outside of this. So
Yeah.
no, I understand that, and that's fine. Like I said, we don't I don't want to put us in a bad spot, and I don't want to put you guys in a bad spot, and I don't want to stand in debate.
Yeah. No,
Because
understood.
It's not healthy for anybody.
I know.
And this is how stuff gets taken out of context
Yes.
and misinformation gets passed
Exactly.
around, right? Just deplorable debates.
All right.
So,
Okay.
If you have any issues with them coming onto your property or anybody like that, don't hesitate to call us. Okay?
No,
We can't
100%.
You're
have you-
wondering why security's here? It's because
It's for the media.
Yeah, it's for the media.
Yeah.
It's for that other.
happened.
There's that other gentleman apparently.
You guys, I hope don't
He doesn't represent
Yeah,
us. He's
yeah.
not
No,
here.
no, and I think that's why they brought him.
Yeah.
Because
the stuff that they did.
Welcome here.
With them attacking the media.
Yeah, I know that was awful.
Actually
And
calling
then
other
posting it on
issues.
YouTube.
Yeah, yeah. So that's why they're here. They're not here for anything
Yeah,
else.
and it's not good.
Anybody was wondering,
Yeah.
or you know.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so
All right.
much. I again appreciate
All right, enjoy your
the
Sunday.
willingness to listen and to hear
Yeah,
us
for
out.
sure.
Thank you for
It's all about compromise, right? Yeah, let's take one of these. All right, good service. Take
Thank
care.
you.
All
Okay.
right, take care.
Thank you
Talk
guys.
to you later.
If you've received a lockdown ticket, I don't want you to pay it. I want you to fight it. Send it to us at fightthefines.com. And if we think your case has merit, we'll put you in touch with a top criminal lawyer at no cost to you. Again, that website is fightthefines.com.